Dobry. No, dziękuję pan Aniprex za oddanie nam pieniążków. Bardzo te pieniążki będą nam potrzebne. Oberon podziękuję. Kto to jest tam z tyłu? A, Gudako. No. No to jest 30 kwarcu, a kolejne 30 dostaniemy na nowy rok. Też. Ale na anniversary. Bo już przekroczyliśmy, już dawno temu przekroczyliśmy tą akcję z lajkami na Twitterze i Facebooku, więc no dostajemy drugie tyle. A, trzeba się trochę pospieszyć, bo dzisiaj jest duża szansa, że mi prąd wyłączą. Gdzieś w okolicach północy, więc lecimy. Mamy 5 strzałeczków. Section 17. Manchester. Percival, we are back. Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you are all safe and sound. Congratulations on another job well done, Artoria Marcisław. Został nam jeden odcinek Suisei no Majo do końca, więc... No... Szczerze to mi się te Gundamy nie podobały. Ostatni odcinek raczej dużo nie zmieni, tam podomyka wątki. Congratulations on another job well done, Artoria Marcisław. I think everyone in Britain must have heard that the bell of pilgrimage ring. Znaczy, to nie chcę Gundamów więcej. Inaczej powiem. Jak jakieś będą jeszcze wychodzić i spodoba mi się synopsis, jak jakieś będą wychodzić w sezonie i będzie mi się synopsis w miarę podobać, to obejrzę, ale to było po prostu w dużej mierze gówniarze siedzą w mechach i drą na siebie ryja. To było w dużej mierze a reszta to takie dorośli rozmawiają. As your exclusive Knight Rider, I too couldn't be happier about this latest success. On a different subject, did you happen to pick me up a souvenir? I don't know if you remember this, but it was no easy feat for us ferry horses to transport you all from Londinium to Gloucester in only half a day. Ja ogólnie nie lubię mecha, więc moja opinia jest mało ważna. Jest tylko moja. Animacja była dość cool, ale walki były denne. Jakbym usłyszał jeszcze raz w tej bajce Koreła Gundam, to bym parsknął śmiechem jeszcze bardziej niż za ostatnim razem. Jedyna walka, która mi się podobała, dwie w sumie. Dwie. Ostatnia walka Guela kontra... Niecała walka Guela z protaszką. I to cokolwiek Czuczu zrobiła gdzieś tam w połowie bajki. Bo to actually była jakaś strategia. Większość walk polega na tym, że ktoś naciska guzik, odpala te drony i drony strzelają laserami wszędzie i leci muzyczka Sawano Hirohikiego, ale nie. I zwycięstwo GG Easy. Bo pamiętajcie, a battle's not won by the pilot skills, nor the capacity of the machine itself. The result of battle is the only truth. Czy jakoś tak. Nie, chwila. Była jedna fajna walka, ale ona w ogóle nie była w Gundamach. Tam w ogóle nie było robotów w tej walce. Co jest zabawne, ona była bardzo ładnie zanimowana. Było w niej 0 robotów. Jedno muszę oddać, to jest Sunrise, więc roboty w ogóle nie są w 3D. To bardzo dobrze. Of course we remember, here you go, 2-in-1 hair restorer and suntan oil. I found it at a shady-looking hole in the wall. It's just one of many different magecraft trinkets being sold there now thanks to Artoria's previous escapade. Hair restorer for a horse? There's no need to hide it. I already know you are a fashionable fairy who cares a great deal about his appearance. Be honest, aren't you itching a chance your look now that Artoria's done the same? Change, a nie chance. You're a great fairy, Oberon. A shed-looking one in the hole in the wall, you say? Sounds like the perfect place to me. Alright, now that Redra's spirits have been lifted, what say we head back to Londinium? Next on our list is Oxford's bell. Once we ring that, this war will really kick into high gear. No. Actually, there's something else we should take care of first. Would you mind if we changed Venice so we could discuss our future plans a little more privately? Oh, that, huh? Okay then, why don't we try going into those woods over there, away from the highway? Damn, sorry about that. I had no idea this forest was actually a Moor's nest. Please stand back, fairies. The Round Table Army will handle this. O! A się ten pofarbował. No need to worry about us. Those Moors won't be able to so much as touch me. I am Red Rabbit, the fairy steed of flame. See for yourselves how my body burns. Come, Sir Percival. Come, Lady Gareth. Let us demonstrate what the Knights of the Round Table truly aspire to. W ogóle ten ascent jest chyba nawiązaniem do tego, jak wyglądają high-endowe konie w Dynasty Warriors. Chyba. Może to bierze się jeszcze skądś inąd i Dynasty Warriors też to skąd wzięło. Ale tak to brzmi. Nie to.
いいですとも。なるほど。レッツファイト。いいですよ。いいです。狙うぞ。まっすぐ。はい。
うん。A! Percival umiera.
なるほど。はい、良いでしょう。
Kurczę, słabo.
Naるほど。いいですとも。
Nie jest najlepiej.
そうし良いでしょう。沈み。
problem. Chociaż w sumie... Ej! A może iglo? Night Rider of the Storm. Rider of the Storm. Co daje to? Nie za dużo. O Jezu, o Jezu! O Jezu!
私の触手は残忍ですよ。
ついにはあいつか。
私の触手は残忍ですよ。みはま従います。こっちこっち。ビビゲー。いい鳴き声。名城しがたき。にゃるにゃる。
Przeżyliśmy.
それではま従いますけど。ズタズタになりなさい。
Izo ma spanko.
はい、了承。
No nie! No nie! No nie! I od kiedy ma ten atak modifier? Muszę o tym pamiętać. Ważna rzecz. So, as I was saying, I was actually thinking of ringing a different bell of pilgrimage next. We know exactly where Oxford's bell is, and now that Woodwoods is gone, we can ring it anytime. So I propose that we head to Orkney next. To dość daleko. Morgan is bound to be watching Oxford right now, which should mean Orkney is ripe for the picking. Co to za dźwięk? A dobra, nieważne. I see. That's a good point. We will have to make our way to Orkney eventually, after all. And since none of the Queen's troops have been deployed there, now would seem to be our best chance. Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. The Queen will send her army after us the moment we head to Orkney, so to say nothing of Noknarea's army in the north. So I would think it would be safer to advance the Round Table army up near Camelot than have some troops protect us on the way to Orkney. No, if we go there as an army, Noknarea will mobilize her army in response. She's already gone on the record saying she sees the Child of Prophecy as an obstacle and Artoria as a rival. So, if Artoria makes any overt moves, she will have no choice but to get in our way by virtue of her position as queen. But we really don't want to fight the Northern Fairies unless we absolutely have to. We need them on our side, fighting Morgan instead. Right, Percival, Artoria? Right, we would like nothing more than to form an alliance with the Northern Fairies. Not as allies in the fight against the Queen, but as fellow citizens of Britain. We've tried sending messengers to Noknarea several times, but unfortunately she won't even give us the time of day. I mean, Noknarea does hate humans. Actually, I don't know if I'd say hate so much as... Well, never mind, that doesn't matter now. Anyway, I agree with Da Vinci. I think the first bell I ring should be Orkney's. Once I do that, we can stop by Noknarea camp on the way home. She should be willing to negotiate with us now. Yeah, you are the Child of Prophecy, in both name and deed now. The Chocolate Queen won't afford to ignore you anymore. Okay, then the question is, how do we get to Orkney without anyone finding out? What if we went through the Lake District? It's a marshland in northwest Britain and constantly mired in fog. The terrain is much too treacherous for an army to cross, and it's full of moors too. Both Noknarea's army and the royal army always keep their distance. It would be a much more dangerous road than taking the highway, but... Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's do it. We only got but so many people with us. We'd be better off dodging moors than an army. I guess that's true. What do you think, Marcisław? If it gets us there undetected, I'm all for it. Ale mieliśmy przez Manchester iść. Znaczy, cieszę się, że tam nie idziemy, ale... Oszukali mnie. I see, then I guess that's that. Personally, I don't think splitting off from our army is a good idea, but I guess you guys are used to moving about as a small elite unit. For a team with your skills, the Lake District shouldn't be much of a problem. Good luck, I will be rooting for you. Huh? You are not coming with us, Oberon? Of course not. The Round Table army is in the middle of a rapid growth period. Someone has to stay and keep an eye on them. Powering up the Child of Prophecy with the bells of pilgrimage is important, of course, but so is improving our army. Percival, I'd like you to come along and command the Round Table Army too, so we can secure Oxford's Bell. It will leave Londinium a little thinly guarded, but if we can occupy Oxford, we arguably won't need it anymore. And once that happens, the Queen's army won't have any more reason to attack there. Then it's settled. Artoria, Marcisław, Muramasa, Da Vinci, Gareth and Habetrot will set out for Orkney's Bell by way of the Lake District. Tak, przypomnę, że Orkney znajduje się na Kirkwallu, czyli na tych małych wysepkach nad Szkocją. Red Rabbit, would you be willing to help them? I can certainly take them as far as the edge of the Lake District, but I won't be able to bring the wagon in there. So once I've seen all of you off, I'll lay low in Edinburgh and pretend to be a wandering knight. You will all be stopping by Edinburgh on your way back from Orkney, right? So I will rendezvous with you there. That sounds perfect. Where have you been hiding all these smarts? For that matter, why were you toiling away as Aurora's secret wagon horse all this time? You could have had a much more prestigious career under Woodwose. Ha! As you can see, I've always had an affinity for the wind, so the Wind Clan city feels like home to me. Red Rabbit, faster than wind. Didn't you say you were the fairy steed of Flameria? Alright then, Oberon and I will head back to Londinium. Wait, I'm going with you too. I'm sorry, Artoria. I know this is selfish of me, especially after I declared myself the Child of Prophecy's #1 knight. I know my going back to Londinium probably won't make that much difference, but I can still help there, and I just can't leave its people to fend for themselves. Of course, Gareth, you have nothing to apologize for. I think it's great that you found somewhere you belong. Don't worry about me. With Marcisław, Da Vinci and Muramasa, I will be just fine. Sure, I will miss having you around, but it won't be long before we will get to see each other again in Londinium, so let's make sure we've both gotten stronger by then. You got it. In the meantime, I will be keeping my ears peeled for the ring of the next bell. Good luck to you too, Oberon. Right, take care out there. Be warned, there's a ton of ash over on that far shore, and it also gets freezing cold out there. And since neither Blanca nor I can cross the ocean, we have no idea what may be going on inside Orkney. Still, whatever you find there, I'm sure it won't be as bad as what you had to overcome in the Russian Lostbelt. Oh, and keep an eye on Artoria. The more nonchalant she acts, the more she's tearing up inside. Yeah, I know. Ja muszę obejrzeć tego... Kannan. Ha, guess I needn't have bothered warning you, huh? I'm glad she's in good hands. Cały czas mam też tą kinówkę Slime'a do obejrzenia. Once we've rang the Orkney and Oxford bells, we will have to move faster than ever. So, in the meantime, I will do whatever is necessary to find out where the 6th bell is located. After that, it will finally be time to face Morgan, regardless of how the odds are stacked against us. What's more, something tells me that even defeating her won't be enough to solve all our problems. There's something else in Britain, something cursing every living creature here. Kropkę zjedli. Unfortunately, we haven't the least idea what it could be. Remember this, Marcisław? We still know almost nothing about Britain's history. If we are lucky, maybe you will find a clue as to how this world came to be the way it is in Orkney. And if we are really lucky, that clue may just give us the edge we need to defeat Morgan. Okej, pierwsza z 5 strzałek. Let's go! Tu jest Manchester, co nie? To jest Manchester, to jest Sheffield, tu jest... Glasgow? Wydawało mi się, że Glasgow jest nabrzeżnym miastem. Wielka Brytania jest... Nie, Glasgow jest troszeczkę wyżej. Tam jest Liverpool. Jeszcze inaczej. To jest Blackburn? Preston? Rockdale? Leeds? Tu jest Sheffield, tu jest Manchester, gdzieś trochę nad Manchesterem. No to chyba Rockdale. Pasuje w kierunku. A co jest na plastrze miodu? Plaster miodu jest trochę pod Edynburgiem. O kurde, to jest Glasgow. To bagno to jest Glasgow. Pasuje. A jak się czyta tą nazwę? Galej? No, to plaster miodu znajduje się w miejscu, w którym w Proper Human History znajduje się Galej. Pisze się to Galashiels. Ale jako, że to Szkocja, to wymawia się to zabawnie. Caster. Artoria będzie potrzebowała dostać lapsa na uspokojenie? I hear a bell ringing. I hear a voice, my voice, call to me in a dream that hasn't changed once in my entire life. But this is everything we can do for her right now. We think it'd be at least some use. So please, make sure she gets it, okay? Okay, I will. I think the Child of Prophecy will be thrilled to receive this. Yeah? Yeah, we think so too. You guys make sure you keep her safe, okay? I didn't really want to accept those gifts. It was all junk. Any upper-class fairy who saw it would think it was just a pile of trash. But for those fairies who struggle just to make it through the day, it was their most precious treasure. I could see their hopes, their feelings in those gifts, and I could see their future. I saw the hope they were clinging to. I saw their joy in believing in something warm. I saw them tear up from the sheer gratitude of being alive, no matter how hard life was for them. And I saw how they would probably be gone by the next morning. The next time we came to Gloucester, those fairies were nowhere to be seen. They didn't entrust their hopes to the Child of Prophecy because they knew they weren't lost for this world. They would have loved to live longer, but they wanted to help the Child of Prophecy even more. So they gave me the only treasure they had, their lives. I really wish they hadn't. Zrozumiewalne. Tu jest pełno cegieków i wszystkie nawiązują do jednej rzeczy. Muszę sobie pobrać ten dźwięk i go ustawić gdzieś. I see a Britain I don't recognize in a world I know nothing about. I see a young squire standing alone in a town lit only by the rays of the setting sun. It's me as a little girl, though raised as a boy. This other Artoria is placing her hand on the sword of selection, even though no one told her to. Britain's destruction is all but certain now. Anyone who would claim its throne is destined to be sacrificial lamb. If you become its king, the people will place all their hopes on your shoulders, asking you to make everything right. If you fail, they will be just as quick to curse you, blaming you for everything going wrong. You will gain nothing from this. Truthfully, you will only be making life harder for yourself. A lone mage with a kind face stands behind her, encouraging her not to go through with this. You should think long and hard before you make your choice. Once you draw that sword, you will never be able to go back to an ordinary human life. Yeah, think about it. No, there's nothing to think about. This just doesn't make sense. The world ending is everyone's problem to solve. If it's going to end, it should end with everyone cursing each other equally. So why? Why are you... I saw a great many people smiling. I don't think that was a mistake. Ooh. Hamlan. To jest Excalibur? Dziwny jakiś. O, już zaczyna padać. And this is what happened as a result. A pariah to even her own knights and subjects even after she rebuilt the entire country. Crushed beneath the weight of a world's hope, without ever knowing joy of her own. All she built came to ruin, and her trusted companions killed each other. Everyone she knew was dead, so she died alone. Is this some kind of joke? It's not funny, it's just cruel. How could you just use her to get what you wanted and then ignore her forever? How could you forget her, like she was just some story you'd finished enjoying? Why did she have to do all that? Why did she feel like she had to? There was no reason at all for her to become knight, a king. It just seemed like she had the power to. I don't understand. I've seen her whole life play out now, and it hardly seems like something to aspire to. Why did it have to be you? Couldn't you have just let someone else do it? The worst thing I could say slipped out of my mouth before I could stop myself. My other self quietly turned around to face me and said, "Perhaps I do think there may have been someone else suitable for this role." Then why? Why in the world did you do this? Why? I think you know the answer better than anyone. We've been heading north on the highway all night, and it's almost noon now. At this pace, we should arrive at the entrance to the Lake District by nightfall. Just please remember that we will be parting ways temporarily once we get there. Alright, about that, I was actually hoping we could tweak our plans a little and you could head west from here. Czekajcie, spojrzę sobie na tego satelitę meteorologicznego. Do północy powinien być spokój, ale to wiadomo jak to jest z takimi pomiarami. That's the way to Manchester, right? I want to stop by there before the Lake District. Manchester, as in Barghest's domain? Are you sure about this, Marcisław? I already suspected as much. You're a dog person too? What about you, Muramasa? What? Is it really that surprising? I just assumed you'd worked that out when Da Vinci said she wanted to go to Orkney. Well, I didn't, okay? What about you, Habetrot? Did you know? Me? Da Vinci talked to me about it before we got on the wagon. She wanted to know if I'd mind stopping there before Orkney. So even you already knew about this, Habenian? But I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm sorry, Artoria, but even if you were on board with this plan, I didn't think you'd be able to keep it to yourself. Barghest is still technically one of the Queen's Fairy Knights, so I didn't want Percival or Oberon to know about this. Good point. Percival would certainly worry if he knew we were stopping by an enemy territory. And I doubt Oberon would have been happy about it either, since she burned down his forest. Manchester's a nice place. It's very unlike Oxford, which has been getting more modernized with its restaurants. It's still an idyllic fairy town, like you'd see in a story. Fighting may be against the rules in Gloucester, but Manchester doesn't need to ban fighting. The whole town despises it, you see. Really? Even though survival of the fittest is the law of the land there? Ha! Don't worry. Barghest's take on survival of the fittest isn't quite what you are thinking. You will see when we get there. Alright then, Manchester it is. Trust me, it's a lovely place full of peaceful wildlife. There won't be any fighting there whatsoever, I give you the Red Rabbit guarantee. Oh great, so it will be nothing but fighting. That's a nice flag. Manchester, Main Street. Inside a local tavern. Ooh, you tourists look really strong. This is amazing. Get them. Jeszcze ta muzyka jak z Pokemonów. Dobre. Nice. Wziąłbym tam więcej postaci, ale zbliżają się te chmury i to jest na serio spora szansa na to, że mi wyłączą prąd w ciągu godziny do 2. Elated Ferry. Kto by się spodziewał, Muramasa bez wszystkich buffów włączonych, jednak nie rozjechał frajera. Jest śmieszne, jak on strasznie psuje kamerę, kiedy jest mały ping. Everyone! Get in here! Everyone! Everyone! O, jedzie czołg.
八重垣作るは戦士の刃知った成仏していきな。おっと
Ej, bo była taka historia o Chińczyku, który udawał, że na TikToku wyłudzał od ludzi pieniądze na rzecz wojny na Ukrainie, przebierał się za żołnierza i tak dalej. Te kombajny można by do tego równie dobrze wykorzystać. Chociaż temu Chińczykowi to się nie dziwi, jak u nich ostatnim krzykiem mody są smażone kamienie. O! Ej, to wygląda jak asset z jakiegoś RPG Makera. Nie dość, że jest takie kwadratowe, to jest, że te domki tak ustawione szeregowo. No serio, wygląda jak grafika miasta na mapę w RPG Makerze. Pasuje, patrząc na to, jakie dźwięki wydają z siebie mieszkańcy. It's the same dream I've had several times before. I'm crying while wasting the remnants of what used to be my lover. They are delicious. I'm so happy. This is wonderful. It hurts. I'm heartbroken. This is madness. Nie. This is Manchester! Predation is a fact of life for our wild creatures. It's natural for us to seek out others, love them, and become one with them in order to survive. Living by the laws of the wild is also a source of pride for me. Może mi jeszcze powie, że and they run when the sun goes up with their lives on the line. Alive! I'm blessed with an exceptional spirit origin, even for one of the Fang clan. As one who was born strong, I have a duty to govern and protect the weak. I have to be strong. I have to let the strong so I can grow stronger. You see, my rules are right. I only love the strong. And I let those I love so that I may become an even better wild creature. That is my lot in life. That is how I have had many strong meals so I can defend Britain and protect the weak. But deep down, having another good cry? Why don't you come over here? You don't have to stop crying, just tell me what happened today. Did something painful happen? Something sad? Did it happen to you while you smiled? Did it happen to someone else while you got upset? Whatever it was, please tell me. I want to know how you feel. It's okay, I promise I will never stop liking you, no matter how embarrassing it may have been. Okno wygląda przerażająco prosto. To jest praktycznie figura geometryczna. His body seemed as though it could fall apart at any moment. He could barely speak above a whisper. He was the weakest creature I've ever known, yet he helped me tremendously when I was on the verge of a breakdown. Co to ma być ten tajemniczy ogród? You know, there's nothing like a fun story to cheer you up in hard times. Why don't I tell you another tale of your favorite knights of the Round Table? I will tell you a story of Flotsam that drifted here as a changeling, a florid, proud and slightly somber story. A story of the brave knights you've always looked up to. The knights of those stories were not completely by anyone to be righteous. Not compelled by anyone to be righteous. They were born righteous. They were proud, they were wonderful, they protected the weak and did good deeds wherever they went. They may have only stories from another world. They may have only... Oh, but I still admired them more than anything. Even though a despicable fairy like myself had no right to do so. Kurwa, minionki. But whenever I shared my trepidations through my tears, he always responded with a gentle smile. There, look out at the garden. Those flowers you planted have grown in beautifully. And I see you planted another one for me today, so that I could enjoy them even though I can't walk. Thank you, that's so kind of you. I only hope that one day you will be free of the pain you carry in your heart. That's right, her love runs true and deep. And with every new relationship she is certain she can prevail over her need to consume. She has never succeeded. Now she's at her limit. No, she reached her limit long ago. Brzmi jak jakaś bajka. Coś w stylu... nie pamiętam czego. Kiji Okoyo? I don't know how many times she's thought of putting herself out of her misery. But despite that urge, her strong sense of responsibility forbids her from taking the easy way out. So she lives with the guilt of devouring her lovers, and as penance continues to protect Britain even as it tears her up inside. She's an example to all of us. That's why I want to help her any way I can. You are the only fairy possessed of true nobility. It would be a tragic loss for you to take your own life. So let's make a deal, Barghest. It's still a little too soon for you to take on the curse after all. So sorry. I really am sorry about that, everyone. I hope you can forgive them. I promise I will give these idiots a stern talking to later, so this sort of thing doesn't happen again. They are very susceptible to trends, you see, and well... You know how they are talking about Camelot preparing for war these days, right? That made them want to have a pretend war of their own. They were satisfied with board games up until you walked in, but... Well, come on, those fairies and the human just looked so strong. I knew it'd be a blast to fight them. I will blast your fangs off. You cheeky tart. Jak chcę, to potrafię po brytyjsku. Don't be daft. Have you forgotten that Lady Barghest is back right now? If you louts ever get someone killed and she finds out about it, she will have your heads and mine. You ought to be thanking your lucky stars that these people are so strong and understanding. Also, no more alcohol for you until I say so. Come on, don't be like that. I can't go back to not drinking human alcohol now that I know how good it is. So true, bestie. Well, Red Rabbit, care to revise your Red Rabbit guarantee? That's strange. I distinctly remember Manchester as a town bursting with smiles, kindness and violence. Could you repeat it? Chcecie zobaczyć coś śmiesznego? Wpiszcie sobie w Google'a Goku, could you repeat it? No. O, zmieniła się znowu mapa. I front idzie południem? The fuck? Pogoda się zmienia jak w Kaleido-Liner Prismo Ilio. Teraz się zmieniło, że dopiero o 1:00 w nocy nas sięgnie. Chociaż w jakiejś gaczy mam szczęście. Then again, no, dropnąłem tego Zhuge-Lianga w Toho. Don't be silly, there is no violence here. The rule of Manchester is survival of the fittest. She must have followed us here from the tavern. And she looks like the fairies from Wales. I'm Jenny. I was just born near here recently. Oh, I see. That explains it. So you must not know much about Manchester yet. Do you happen to know where the Lord's house is, Jenny? You mean Lady Barghest? Sure, it's over that way, at the end of the big road. A, rzeczywiście, tam stoi. Wow. Mogę go prawie dotknąć, jakbym miał rękę na pół kilometra. Oh yeah, I see it now. Looks like it's a big mansion with a beautiful garden. Anyway, I thought Manchester was a Fang Clan town, but I guess it has fairies like you too. Are there Earth Clan fairies here as well? I'm not sure. I haven't seen many Earth fairies. There's a lot of humans here though. It's about half fairies, half humans. Really? So far I've only seen fairies walking around. Are there really that many humans here too? No, wszyscy siedzą w piwnicy u Bargesto i tam jest dość chłodno, więc się nie psują. Więc może sobie takiego świeżego wyciągnąć na każdą nockę. Of course, it's survival of the fittest here, so the strong have to protect the weak. Trzymając ich w piwnicy. I know cause I'm one of the ones being protected. Lady Barghest might be strict, but she's also really kind and really funny. So that's how she defines survival of the fittest, huh? Now I get it. I had my suspicion, given what we've seen so far. Co? given what we've seen of her. But it does look like to Barghest, survival of the fittest ain't about the strong preying on the weak. That's right, she's been like this for as long as I can remember. Nikt nie ma zamiaru zauważyć, że Artoria jakoś tam zna Bageko sprzed czasów, kiedy się z nią poznaliśmy? I wrzuca tym tak casualowo, że każdy ma to najwyraźniej w dupie? The strong should only eat the strong. The weak aren't worth eating, so they must be protected. She'd say that all the time. Okay, now seems like a good time to ask about this. Did you know Barghest when you were kids or something, Artoria? Of course not, don't be silly. I mean, you saw how Barghest didn't even recognize me, right? Nope, certainly haven't known her a long while, no sir. In fact, I don't know a single thing about her, nothing. Huh? I know about Lady Barghest, she's back at her mansion right now. Everyone in town keeps congratulating her over coming back to visit her new lover all the time. Are you kidding me? All her talk about being a proud and noble fairy knight and she still has the time to keep lovers. Barghest's lover? I don't even want to think about it. You can take what rumors say too seriously. It's not like she ever confirmed any of them herself. And even if what they say is true, that's between her and her lovers, right? If they are all okay with it, who are we to judge? No, może oni są bardzo into worę, tak bardzo, że wiecie, niektórzy piszą pod takimi rzeczami "Man, I wish that was me" i to może oni mają to na myśli dość literalnie. Well, true love or not, crimes are crimes. But this is also the land of the Fae, and we know different areas have their own very different rules. Still, now that we've come this far, we can't live without seeing her. If you are scared, Red Rabbit, it's okay, you can wait here. No, żaden z chłopaków Barghest nie narzekał. Wszyscy tylko krzyczeli harder, mami. Besides, we are the ones who wanted to talk to her. Jestem pewien, że ona zawsze ma z nimi umówione bezpieczne słowo. I nigdy nie zostało wymówione. No, that's okay. I've come this far with you and I'm not about to part ways now. Besides, I can't help it if she sets her sights on me as her next dish. That's just the burden someone as popular with all ages as me has to bear. On właśnie powiedział, God, I wish that was me. So if things should take a turn for the worst, I can at least be a meat shield for the rest of you while you make your escape. Now come, let us be off to the demon's lair. I'm certainly not afraid of any horrific fairy-eating black dog. To jest trochę zabawne, bo Red Hair jest klaczą. Więc no, wchodzimy w głębokie lore Jigokuraku. Łączenia Yin i Yang. Welcome to Manchester, everyone. What a wonderful surprise to see you take me up on my request less than a day after I made it. Gorgeous. Who in the world would call such a beautiful lady horrific? I see now that you are nothing less than a true noble. Niha, a true champion. Personally, I, Red Rabbit, feel as though I've just been hung out to dry in the final corner. Thank you for your kind words. May I ask who this Funk Clan fairy is? Don't worry about him, he's just another hapless horse. Havenian, would you mind taking Redra outside for a bit? A dobre było. Oh shit. Słyszycie to? Kapie. Jest taka creepypasta o tym, że kapie, ale nie będziemy o niej dzisiaj rozmawiać, bo ja wiem dlaczego kapie, to dlatego, że sąsiad nam rozpierdolił rynnę i muszę teraz zamknąć okno. Nadal słychać, ale dużo mniej. Najwyżej się uduszę. A jest gorąco. No. Sąsiedzi sobie wymieniali rynny i ekipa remontowa najwyraźniej pierdylnęła w naszą rynnę i zaczęło z niej kapać. Co najzabawniejsze, z piętra leci na doniczki z kwiatami, z doniczek z kwiatami razem z błotem leci na mój balkon. Mógłbym otworzyć parasol, ale zaraz pewnie i tak będzie burza, więc go zdmuchnie. A mało by to pomogło, by tylko zmienił to, że przestałoby stukać o podłogę, a zaczęłoby stukać o bęben. A wiecie jak to mówią? Bęben sparking strings. Na co ja patrzę? A, to tutaj będzie. No. Tak mówią. A potem co mówią? No. Też pasuje. Sure thing, come on Red Rabbit, let's go out to the yarn. I noticed there was a fun looking plaza out there. Hehe, it's called a paddock, Habetrot. Ah, there really is nothing like a clan mansion. They always have so many luxuries, even when the owner has no particular plans to use them. Okej, Broka się pozbyliśmy. Wystarczyło, nawet nie trzeba było używać bondage. I see you're still wearing your dress today. No, well, jest off duty, a jej pozostały inny kostium nie wygląda zbyt wyjściowo. I just got here myself not too long ago, so I haven't had time to change yet, that's all. Anyway, I'm glad you let us in here without even patting us down. Now that we know for sure you don't mean to fight us, we can relax and get down to Bargest? I'm afraid you are mistaken in that. While I certainly bear you no ill will, as you can see, I do have every intention of fighting you. Huh? What's the meaning of this, Bargest? Survival of the fittest. Would you kindly stay out of this? My business is with you. Marcisław, Master of Chaldea, and Leonardo da Vinci, his faithful servant. I know this is unbecoming, but I would like to ask you with all respect for a duel. Would you be so kind as to show me your strength once again? I get it, she wants to see for herself how strong Chaldea is. Of course. Now I see, you want to... Tak, Da Vinci, dopiero co o tym pomyślałem. I gather you won't trust us unless we can prove we are able to beat you without the Child of Prophecy's help. That is true, yes, but more than that, I'm interested in you, Marcisław. Oh no. I want to see just how far a mere human can go against us fairies. No. I am going to see for myself whether your victories so far have been more than a fluke. To cały czas słychać, ale dużo mniej. Okej, 2 serwanto. Jo. A wiecie co? Będzie śmiesznie. Arjuna. Nadal nie dopracowałem sobie jakiego CE pod quickie powinienem używać. Weźmy to. Piękny Arjuna, taki do niczego. Taki niepolewelowany i w ogóle. Mogłem z niego zrobić chodzącą starbombę. Co ona tam ma? Increase your attack when an enemy is defeated. Średnie karty na początek, ale okej.
ゴッホが辛かった時期の一服。何が起きるかは作家保証外です。新作糸杉と村、またの名をデス・テーレンラフト。
stun.
私の宝具見たいのかい？
Go ho ho.
嬉しい。駆け抜けるは前人未到。未完の馬よを殺せて輝ける轍を残せ。ああ、人生はとても楽しい。ビューティフルジャーニー。お日様のようにごっこかった。
Jeszcze żyje. Niespodziewalny.
書きます。大盤振る舞い。
A.
送る言葉はノースメインニーマ一人も逃がさん。狩りは得意。スイッ。
はい。
Sy...
任せて。いくよ。大盤振る舞い。
Ty zwierzu. Przestań mnie ssać, ty zwierzu. Urwał.
謝罪しますわ。ネズミ相手とはいえ手加減をしていたことに。ぶっつぶれなさい。ブラックドッグガラティーン。しまった。油断したか。
ごめんなさい。失敗しちゃった。
そこ。
ミスりました。
Chuj.
嬉しい。書かなければ星空の下。
Co to się stało? No, survival of the fittest, albo jak to mówią, rule of nature.
ドロンクルイユの彼方。英語より星の渦も。
A rules of nature, pierwszym prawem jest to, że end they run when the sun goes up, with their lives on the line.
終作ですが。すみません。すみません。
A drugie prawo polega na tym, że kiedy Metal Gear próbuje cię ciachnąć wielkim mieczem, to za niego łapiesz i go supleksujesz. Trzecie prawo polega na tym, że jak masz high ground, to należy rozciąć przeciwnika w pół. Takie są rules of nature. Zobaczmy jeszcze raz mapę. Ja nie mam pojęcia, jak ludzie potrafią przewidywać pogodę. Ja wchodzę na te meteorologiczne mapy, a widzę wiatr, widzę chmury, ale to się zmienia co 5 sekund. Zróbmy to lepiej. A, może też sprawdzę, czy na breakbarze to, co się wydarzyło, to był ten... To ona sobie po prostu na 100% ustawiła Noble Phantasm, czy może tylko o 1 podskoczyła? Bo ja bym bardzo chętnie popróbował normalnie, ale jest spora szansa, że za godzinę mi wyłączą prąd. Charges own NP gauge to max. Czyli na break barze muszę mieć pełen pasek. Co? Na break barze muszę mieć jakąś twardą defensywkę na każdym. Więc jakbym teraz dostał dwie, o... Idealnie! Patrzcie na to! Jestem debilem. Head Galewis nakłada wszystkim evade'a, więc zmarnowałem właśnie skilla. Przeżyję. No. Mogłem sobie jeszcze dorzucić ten drugi buff, ten atakowy z Mystic Code'u. Pewnie powinienem. To by się spodziewał, powinienem. Nieważne. Okej, teraz będzie ta tura. Spróbujmy zrobić tak, żeby wszyscy przeżyli. W sumie co podnosi overcharge? Kryta? Nie, atak. Też dobrze.
ブラックドッグガラティーこんなところだスイッチ
O, jeszcze terror znowu wszedł.
古きルール
To co, no to spamujemy z terenach dalej.
皆様目を閉じてふむふむ嬉しいゴッホが辛かった時期の一服何が起きるかは作家保証外です新作糸杉と村またの名をデス・テーレンラフト
I tu proszę bardzo jest różnica między tą walką z Barghest a poprzednią walką z Barghest. Polegająca na tym, że raz miałem strasznie dziwny team. A za drugim razem mam actually supporty, które dobrze współgrają z DPS-em. I karta podeszła.
お花畑が新作ですが
A mogłem jeszcze iść jakby co. I can do this all day. Ale gdybym założył trochę inny Mystic Code, żeby sobie od czasu do czasu poprawić cooldowny i tak dalej. Mamy dobre tempo. Nie psujmy go. Well, this has been a day of extremes. Oh, these notchi are so good. Nie wiem jak się to wymawia. Strzelam, że gnocchi. I love how versatile potatoes are, no matter what world they come from. These oysters are amazing too. I was a little shocked when they came out on that huge plate piled up to the ceiling, but damn it, if I couldn't eat these things forever. Don't let the fancy presentation fool you, it's not nearly as impressive as it looks. Artoria, jesteśmy na gościnie, nie wybrzydzaj. This Just look at all those meat pies dominating the table. There must be enough here to cover Garrett's entire shield. That makes pretty clear how vain Buggy is. She's obviously trying to break our conversation by overwhelming us with quantity and flourishes. Won't work on me though. So you are not aware that you are taking a bite of meat pie even as you speak? Oh man, this is really good. O, przebrała się. There, I changed back to my usual armor now that I'm done with both fighting and cooking. I do hope you like the food. I apologize that I couldn't make anything more than these simple dishes. Normally I would have had my chefs do the cooking, but I had to give them a leave of absence as part of my house arrest. You mean you made all this yourself? You mean you are under house arrest? Ale wczoraj byliśmy w Gloucester. That's right, but it's nothing too impressive. I merely imitated flower-based human culinary techniques and drilled them into me. It's a far cry. She said it. She said the name of that shitty game. It's a far cry from the gourmet cuisine they serve in Camelot. Hi, is that so? I didn't think you fairy knights were so domestic. It must be hard being the lord of a hick town like this if you have to do your own cooking. I don't understand. Shouldn't everyone who plans to get married someday be able to do all manner of housework? Zaorała! Okay, let's not go down that path any further. Besides, we have other things to talk about. Indeed, now that we've come this far, I will be completely frank with you. I want to keep the residents of Britain safe, that is why I pledged my horn to Her Majesty. But Her Majesty does not share that goal. In fact, she is actively working to worsen the Great Calamity. She cares only the fairy Britain itself, not the Fae who inhabit it. So here is my proposal to you, child of prophecy. If you mean to ring the bells of pilgrimage so that you may truly save Britain, I am willing to fight for your cause. If need be, I will even rise up against the Queen herself during the Battle of Camelot that is now sure to come. Powiedziałbym, że harem protagonist i ex uderzyło, ale mało było mojego wkładu w to. You're serious about this, aren't you? I don't mind having you on board, but what about your pride as a knight? You really want to join our side, even after you destroyed the human ranch and burned down the Welsh forest at the Queen's command? That's right, even if it is too little, too late, I still wish to join you. As to my crimes, you are welcome to convene a court-martial after the Battle of Camelot. Przypomniało mi się teraz coś bardzo śmiesznego. Już jest pokazane, gdzie będzie znajdować się kolejny ordeal call. No, była głodna nie jest sobą, a ja nie mam Snickersa. Zaimprowizuję sobie, a ja nie chcę tego widzieć. Niestety jest to znowu Japonia. Ale patrząc na to, jaki był cast pierwszego Ordeal Calla, to bym się nie zdziwił. To w sumie byłoby piękne, gdyby kolejny Ordeal Call był w Japonii i żaden serwant nie byłby Japończykiem. To byłoby piękne. Zwłaszcza, że postać, która ma być prowodyrem tego Ordeal Calla, jest pokazana i on nie wygląda wcale japońsko. Może dzisiaj znajdę tą grafikę, wczoraj mi się nie udało. No, pierwszy Ordeal Call to było Welcome to Sakuraverse. Z jakiegoś powodu pojawił się tam też ten Lew, Leinur, był tam no... Stary, głupi debil. Pies go jebał i tak dalej. I jak mu tam było? O! Znalazłem tą grafikę. Teraz bym chciał, żeby była piękniejsza. I otworzyłem na Reddicie. Uwaga, spekulando Team Go. Znaczy za chwilę, jak tylko się pokaże. O! Tak, to mówiłem, że już pokazali na tej grafice. Ona jest gdzieś widoczna na głównej stronie Fate'ów, ale nie potrafię się do tego dokopać. Pierwszy był już powiedziany, on był w Egipcie, żaden serwant nie był egipski, praktycznie wszyscy byli z Indii. Był jeden Lanlin Wang i jedna meduza. On nie wygląda w ogóle japońsko. Jeżeli miałbym jak kogoś w Japonii, kto mógłby tak wyglądać, to nie wiem, Friedrich Kojet, ale on nie był za bardzo w Japonii, tylko w okolicach. Co ciekawe, córka Friedricha Kojeta jest postacią w tym Samuraj Remnancie. Jest masterem asasyna? Chyba asasyna. Ta Dorotea, którą widzieliśmy. Nazywa się Dorotea Kojet. No. Teraz patrząc bardziej na ten wygląd, nadal bym chciał, żeby to był Tyfon, ale to, że ma te diamenciki we włosach, skrzydła nie za bardzo smocze i tak dalej, to może jednak być Lilith. Bardzo bym nie chciał, ale niech już se będzie. Power z Chainsawmana. Dokładnie. Tak. Ale przecież już mamy Power z Chainsawmana. Nazywa się Nagiko. Mamy też Kobeni. Dopiero co była na ekranie. Nieważne. Chciałbym spekulować po tym, co on, jak on wygląda, co on trzyma, jak jest ubrany, ale te symbole na wnętrzu jego płaszcza nie wyglądają jak nic. Broń, którą trzyma, to może być... nie mam pojęcia co. Wygląda jak jakiś kostur. Albo... cokolwiek innego. Buty ma bardzo europejskie. Ej, on ma na twarzy takie pęknięcia. To nie jest żaden... ten... Chingis Khan. To nie jest żaden mocny argument, ale... a co jeżeli to jest... Czekajcie, muszę zrobić mały research. Jak gość się nazywał? A, Dorian Gray to może być. Tylko dlatego, że ma takie dziwne schorzenie na mordzie, które wygląda troszeczkę jak zaschnięta farba. Dorian Gray byłby fajny. Muszę cały czas przeczytać książkę. Ale byłby fajny. No to jest jedyne, co mogę powiedzieć, bo on wygląda jak coś, czego nie rozpoznaję w ogóle. Jeżeli to byłby kostur, to mógłby być Aleister Crowley może? Ale raczej nie. No. To tyle tego. Let's fucking go. As to my crimes, you are... to było. Rest assured that I will expect no mercy. I will accept whatever punishment fits my crimes. But first, I want you to promise me one thing. Marcisław, Da Vinci, you have both said it is possible for Fairy Britain's residents to immigrate to proper human history. If that is true, and you two are willing to tolerate fairies living among you, then I would ask that you please give the matter some thought. Her Majesty has already told me that our Britain is what is known as a Lostbelt. A word that was meant to disappear, to make way for proper human history. I believe it. I have no doubt that this Britain should never have come to exist. What makes you say that, Barghest? You want to protect Britain, right? So why do you think it should never have existed? Aren't those two ideals mutually exclusive? Because we fear this land. Every one of us. I suspect you could ask any fairy in the land and they would give the same answer. At any rate, under Queen Morgan's reign, every fairy will perish by the end of the year. I naturally have no notion of what our lives would be like under the Child of Prophecy's reign. But if there should be fairies who under her reign wish to move outside the world, I hope you would take them in. If worse comes to worst, and this Britain really does disappear, I could ask for nothing more than to have the fairies born here live on in your world. A, tak by the way, wracając jeszcze do Ordi Alcola, zauważyłem jedną rzecz, która mnie trochę niepokoi w nim. To jest to, że zwiastuny, logo i w ogóle wszystko cały czas nazywa to Cosmos in the Lostbelt. Wiem, że to jest aftermath do niego, ale nawet Epic of Remnant miało zmieniony tytuł i nowe logo. Czy was to nie niepokoi? Bo mnie to nieco niepokoi. I could ask for nothing more than to have the fairies born here live on in your world. What do you think, technical advisor? I think it's a great idea. In fact, I can't come up with a single reason to refuse. Znaczy, no, jebać wróżki to jest największy powód, ale z drugiej strony, okej. The storm border is big enough to hold up to 500 refugees. They would have to live there until we resolve the bleached earth phenomenon, of course. But as long as they are okay with that, they should be able to get by in the border just fine. Besides, this is exactly what the storm border was designed for. It's a modern-day Noah's Ark. Potężne słowa, patrząc na to, że Noah w każdej chwili może się pojawić i dać nam takiego slapa siarczystego za copyrighty. While there aren't very many of them, there have been a few vessels like that in proper human history. They served as literal lifeboats to preserve the future of the species they carried. 500 ain't a whole lot compared to the fairy population at large, though. You gotta be okay with that, Barghest? Yes, saving even a small number is far better than failing to save anyone. As long as you remember this promise, no, my wish, then I will gladly become a filthy turncoat for your cause. Of course, I am sure Sir Gawain would think poorly of me for this. However, briefly I used his name. I admit the very idea of betraying one's lord must be unthinkable to him. Podoba mi się ten tekst na dole.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure. You said something like this before yourself, Marcisław. Even if the world is about to disappear, you didn't want to let what might come to tomorrow ruin today. And you were exactly right. Instead of worrying what might happen tomorrow, I should focus on what I can do today. Alright, I can't possibly turn you down at this point. Forgetting for a moment how in the world I am going to explain this to Oberon. Fair night, Barghest. If you really want to help the Child of Prophecy, you can do so in Camelot. Once the fighting there begins, you are to refrain from attacking the Round Table army. That part is absolutely non-negotiable. Aside from that, well, if you feel like neutralizing some of the Queen's Szanuję za posklejanie tych kilku modeli Cats, żeby to jakoś się złożyło. Ale jednak wolałbym, żeby autor, jak już grzebał przy modelu, to stawił jakąś inną pozę. Aside from that, well, if you feel like neutralizing some of the Queen's army for us, I'm not going to stop you. Anyway, those are my only instructions. Any thoughts, Barghest? I'm surprised you didn't ask me to open the castle's gates from the inside for you. Did I not say you need not hold back on my behalf? I know, but I just don't trust you enough to rely on you for something so crucial. Co, ma kogoś innego, kto to zrobi? Nie. All you have to do is fight within your means. We can break down the gate ourselves. Good point. If I were lying, you would certainly be in dire straits. If you trusted me to open the gates for you... You've made the right choice, but I must admit, I didn't expect you to be so severe. Personally, I don't think it's gonna come to that. By the way, on a much lighter subject... Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Could you introduce us to your significant other? Co, ma otworzyć usta i pokazać, gdzie jest? Yeah, I'd love to meet them too. We heard all about it in town. They say you come back to Manchester all the time just so you can spend time with your new squeeze. It's not all the time, I just come here as often as I can. So it is all the time. Besides, he's not my significant other at all, he's just a human boy I take care of. I only love the strong. I would never even dream of taking a lover as weak, incapable and devoid of a future as him. He just like me for real. You sure about that? O nie, Muramasa znowu to powiedział.
Are you sure about that?
You could just as well... Kurde. Kilka ekranów naraz. They say love is blind for a reason. You could just as well end up falling in love with the last person you'd suspect. I could. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that proper human history's culture is so advanced. But I digress. Adonis is very weak. Adonis? He's been sickly all his life. He is currently recuperating here in my mansion. While he was very excited to meet you when I told him about you, Marcisław, I'm afraid he's been struggling with an unrelenting caffeine fit recently. And I haven't been able to get him the medicine he needs thanks to the imminent great calamity. So I want to at least let him get all the rest he needs. That said, I would be very grateful if you could come here to meet him after the battle at Camelot. Kurde, szkoda, że Shadow Servanty nie są zbyt użyteczne poza walką. Bo taki Asklepiosik to by się przydał. Z drugiej strony to mogłoby nie wyjść na dobre. I may not be able to come back myself, but I know you would all get along very well. Gotcha. Sorry for the uncouth request. I guess fairies aren't the only people you want to keep safe. Of course not. I may not hesitate to discipline uneducated humans, but even that is no more than the basic training humans need to survive in this world. The fairies and humans are two halves of one wall. You cannot treat them separately. Protecting fairies means doing the same for humans. Well, this has been a really productive talk. I'm glad we stopped by Manchester. I think this has been a good respite for you too, Artoria. You must have enjoyed getting to talk with an old fairy friend of yours, right? Sure, you must have been acting happy, but you clearly also enjoyed the meat pies, seeing how you ate so many. A respite? Hardly. This wore me out even more than acting the part of the Child of Prophecy around the Round Table Army. Now, if you are done here, let's get going already. We still have to make it to the Lake District by nightfall. The Lake District? I see, so you are going to Orkney. There may not be very many moors up north, but each individual moor there is stronger than what you are accustomed to. And those in the Lake District are especially strong at that. Be careful out there. No jeżeli mają tą samą klasę co zazwyczaj, to rzucimy w nich taktycznym słoniem. Got it. See you later then. What is it, Barghest? Still got something on your mind? Yes, I was just thinking about the relationship between master and servant you told me about during our meal. Her Majesty has told me about servants as well. Servants are spirit beings that are retrieved from the chronicle of human history, a place beyond time known as the Throne of Heroes. They come into being when their master summons them for a particular purpose. These servants then stay by their master's side, and should their master die, they vanish. Do I have that all correct? Pretty much, yep. Why? Then it doesn't make sense. What? That a servant would obey a master when the master's weaker? I've wondered about that too, but no, that isn't what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about Beryl God. Tak, bo on nie ma serwanta. He claims that Queen Morgan is a servant he summoned himself. But Queen Morgan has never called Beryl God her master. And above all, he only came to Fairy Britain a few months ago. Dokładnie mówią o tym samym, o czym mówiłem na początku partu. W końcu to przyszło do tego. While Morgan has been queen for over 2000 years. Jeez, she old. That's what doesn't make sense. Her Majesty was alive and well long before this man came along. Unless, is it possible to summon a servant version of a current living person? Ej, to by było w sumie ciekawe, jakby była tutaj Morgan, ta tutejsza, ale też gdzieś była w piwnicy schowana Morgan Le Fay z Proper Human History. Wtedy Beryl by nie kłamał, że Morgan jest jego serwantem, ale nie mówiłby o tej Morgan. Honestly, I've been wondering about that too. I to nie jest kłamstwo. Mówię o tym od dawna. I can think of one possibility. There have been a few cases where the future forms of heroic spirits with exceptionally complex histories have been summoned in the present day, while their original selves were still alive. Fate Zero. And since in proper human history Morgan was known to have 3 separate personalities, it could be that one of them was summoned here. But of course, if that were the case, it would also mean there are 2 Morgans here in Fairy Britain. I don't suppose you've seen any signs of a second Morgan or even heard rumors to that effect. No, I haven't. There is only one Queen Morgan and she is not a servant. I have served Her Majesty for 200 years. I am absolutely certain she is a fairy. That's why I wished to ask you about this. Is this Beryl God truly Morgan's master? W końcu o tym rozmawiamy. Circumstantial change confirmed. I have a proposal for you, chosen ones. An offer for those of you who were cast aside. If you desire acclamation, then choose rebirth. If you desire indolence, then choose eternal sleep. It makes no difference to a god. It makes no difference? Well, it sure as shit makes a difference to me whether I live or die. Living inevitably means struggling, while dying takes those struggles right off your plate. I've always preferred to keep things simple. I can't even dance if I've got too much on my mind. Acclaim power, the future of humanity, being the best version of myself I can. Fact is, I don't care enough about myself to get worked up about any of that. Okay, Mr. Foreign God, I hear you, but before I give you my answer, can you tell me one thing first? I asked him if there was anything in this world that actually mattered to me. And he answered me without a second thought, guess that's a god for you. Nie dowiemy się, co nie? Hey, Kirstaria, so you made it back to life too, huh? Well, hey, that's amazing. No tak przypomnę, to co widzimy tam w tle to jest to, jak wygląda w tym momencie Ziemia. Poza Lostbeltami. Wygląda jak obraz tego Austriaka i nie tego na H. City z paczkomaty trochę. Well, hey, that's awesome. I thought I'd be the first one out, but I guess I was dead wrong. And sometime soon you will be dead weight. I mean, we are talking about a foreign god here, right? One who says he's gonna refute all of human history. I figured the only ones who'd jump on a sweet offer like that be me, Pepperoncino, or David. David! Not at all. I have as much desire as the next person. What could be more enticing than the prospect of creating a new human history? You'd have to be mad to refuse. Wiatr wieje na północ w tym momencie. Front burzowy jest tu. Co do cholery? Teoretycznie ma się zmienić na wschodni. I do pierwszej, drugiej w nocy tutaj dojść, ale ja już tej stronie nie wierzę w nic. Well damn, I stand corrected, so you've finally shown your true colors, huh, Wodheim? I mean, there's been times before when I couldn't believe the stuff that came out of your mouth, but still. Anyway, you've got a real nice smile now, I like it, it's a big relief. That smile says, I'm gonna abandon all of humanity to their deaths so I can be the king of the goddamn world. If you were all broken up about this while pretending to be one of the good guys, then I'd have had some serious reservations about sticking with you. Do I really seem that different now than I did before? Nope, you don't. That's why I'm so happy about this. You've actually been off your rocket this whole time. Oh well, at least I already knew on some level that the members of Team A misunderstood me in many ways. Huh? Hey, don't get all gloomy on me. I like this new you. So, what do you want me to do, Wodheim? You are the team leader, yeah? And hey, now I finally get what the whole crypter thing was all about. That's right, you were brought into the Singularity repair missions for emergency contingencies, weren't you? You know about our secret Sirius lights and how to use them. You also know how they are designed to deliver the decisive blow to ensure the preservation of humanity. When the foreseen singularities appear in the 7 points in human history, we expect them to... Heh, I thought only me and Marisbury knew about the Sirius lights. Guess you did too, huh? Oni chyba wszyscy o nich wiedzą, ale nieważne. Or maybe the foreign god told you. Either way, you sure cut my work out for me. Well, you guessed it, I'm the cleanup guy. It's my job to dispose of anyone thinking about deserting their post. So, what are you gonna do with me now? Gonna kill me here while we are all alone so as not to wreck team morale? No, I think your ruthlessness could be useful. I want to use it. Eventually, everyone from Team A will be resurrected and assigned a Lostbelt. From there, the foreign god will give us each a ticket to potentially become the king of the world in exchange for growing our Lostbelt's tree of emptiness. And I would like you to tear your ticket up. You don't mind, right? It's not as though that ticket will actually be good for anything. However, you can't be reckless about it. You will need to do it in secret, while making it seem as though you are still giving it an honest try. Huh? Hang on, you are telling me to betray the foreign god too? And what was that about tearing up my chance to become the king of the world? Are you shitting me with? You will be assigned the Isle of Britain. I took the liberty of choosing it for you. I assume you don't mind it being your homeland. And if I do, not even Marisbury was this unilateral about his decision making, you know. I see. Unfortunately, now that I've already brought this up, I can't pretend it never happened. If you refuse, I'm afraid I will have no choice but to kill you. What, seriously? So I got no choice in this? Thank you, Beryl. I'm glad we understand one another. You are the only one I can ask to do this. I don't know what that Lostbelt is like, but I do know Britain is crucial to the Magecraft world. There's no telling what would happen if the foreign god were to inhabit something which came from there. It's the one Lostbelt that must be cut down before it can grow to maturity. How you choose to go about it is your business, but basically you just want me to slack off like I've always done, right? Okay, pal, you got it. Besides, I never had much interest in competing to be king of the world anyway. This gig's way more up my alley. That said, Odaim, this is still a deal we are making, so I expect you to keep up your end of it too. Once you become the king of the world, you'd better make damn sure I leave it up in the lap of luxury, alright? Hej, zanim pójdziemy dalej, zarządzam 5-sekundową przerwę. Wróciwszy. Shit, there really isn't a goddamn thing here, is there? Well, apart from all the phantasmals and fairies and assorted nasty beasties running around. Pan powrócił. How's a place like this gonna be any threat to the new human history? I guess even Wodheim gets it wrong every now and... No, wait. I remember that look on his face. Whatever's here, he was positive it was gonna be a problem. Maybe he knew about something funky going down in London. The rest of us didn't. Funky. Oh well, no sweat of my back. That just makes my job even easier. Now I can take care of the Tree of Emptiness without anyone getting in my way. Speaking of which, I should probably go about summoning my servant. Thanks for making sure each crypter could summon at least one servant, Marisbury. I mean, it was the least you could do after inscribing us with something as dangerous as the Sirius Lights. But still, Sirius Light to jest... Jeżeli dobrze to rozumiem, to jest po prostu taki dodatkowy, bardziej pojebany command spell, ale on nie czerpie twojej many tak po prostu, tylko od razu bierze wszystkie magic circuity i ukręca ci łeb. Dobrze, że Billy the Kid strzelił do Polaka, kiedy chciał go użyć. Kolejny przykład na to, że strzelanie do Polaków to nie tylko przyjemność, ale i obowiązek. A propos strzelania do Polaków. Włączyłem sobie wczoraj w końcu tego Atomic Hearta. I pierwsza godzina jest fajna. Dawno nie czułem się tak bardzo w domu. Jak w tej pierwszej godzinie, jak się idzie po tym mieście w chmurach, które jest pełne blokowisk i w tle grają biali jerozy i te... Oj, wszędzie są te gówniane bolszewickie plakaty propagandowe. Te wielkie, brutalistyczne budynki rządowe. To było cool. A kiedy pojawiła się wkurwiona starsza pani, to już w ogóle było jak w domu. Coś błysnęło nie tutaj, ale front burzowy idzie przez całą Polskę. Z tego co widzę, czuję w powietrzu, że coś się szykuje, ale z tego co widzę w tym momencie idzie przez Śląsk. Północ chyba troszeczkę omija, z drugiej strony w tym momencie nad tym Golfstromem? Jak się nazywa ta wyspa na Bałtyku? Nieważne, w tym momencie nad nią znajduje się północny front. Jak tam Wielka Brytania? O, a nie, dobra, to jest Ameryka. A nie, Grenlandia. Ja chcę Wielką Brytanię zobaczyć. Wielka Brytania w tym momencie wygląda o dziwo okej. Jest na razie praktycznie nienapastowana. Jak wygląda Orkney? Orkney wygląda dobrze. ciągu najbliższych godzin. No, przetoczy się przez całość, ale bez burz najpewniej. O dziwo, Londyn nie będzie deszczowy. Wszystko się może jeszcze zmienić, bo wszystko zależy od tego, jak w tym momencie wiatr dmucha. A to jest dzień jutrzejszy. No. Tak to dzisiaj wygląda. O 1:00 w nocy teoretycznie w linii prostej wszystko sieknie. O, wiatry zbierają się wokół Warszawy. Czy was to nie niepokoi? Mnie ani trochę. Course, I still don't know exactly what kind of servant I'm gonna get, but I think I can make a pretty good guess. To dajesz, move inkantację. Come forth, Guardian of Scales i tak dalej. Whoever I summon, my only conditions that they are capable of destroying the world. Limba myśli, że przywoła Beasta. I'm Morgan the Fairy Queen, a ruler. I have come in response to your summons. Ruler. You there, descendant of witches, are you my master? She said it. She said the quote. Oh, that was a good nap. I know I made the right choice stopping here before heading home to Darlington. A w ogóle jak chodzi o sławne linijki i tak dalej, to znalazłem dzisiaj w mandze Kalaida kolejne fany. Maybe there isn't a point, but it isn't pointless. It's not pointless. Miyu really do be her brother's sister. Czy to jest Hakuno? Nie. Oops, sorry Queenie, didn't realize you were still hard at work on the throne all by your lonesome. Still, don't you think it's time you chilled out just a bit, Morgan? The Tree of Emptiness is dead. Kirshtarya was our biggest enemy and we defeated him too. The foreign god never got a hold of the spirit origin she wanted, and she never will now. There's nothing for us to be afraid of, we've practically already won. So why not just relax? It's not like Chaldea or the Child of Prophecy are any threat to you, right? On to powiedział.
Are you sure about that?
A warto było przez pół godziny się męczyć ze Streamlabsem, żeby to zainstalować. Of course not. I have never considered either of them to be my enemy. My only enemies are the humans who once rejected me, and the Isle of Britain that would reject the fairy Britain I've created. Proper human history itself is my enemy, and so I will not relinquish my throne until it has been truly, utterly destroyed. W sumie nie wiem, czy to zauważyliście przez tych 20 chapterów fabularnych, które dotychczas były i 300 eventów, ale chciałbym zauważyć coś, co FGO robi, a wiele innych gacz tego nie robi w swojej fabułce. Narratora praktycznie nie ma. Nie ma 30-linijkowych opisów tego, jak wygląda walka, ani tego, co znajduje się w pomieszczeniu razem z nami. Wszystko jest wymawiane przez postaci, więc jeżeli coś jest ważne, to postaci to zauważają. To bardzo ucina na wacie. Nadal jest to strasznie długi chapter, więc na szczęście, że tej waty nie ma. Know this, Beryl God, the fault for Banshee's failure in Gloucester lies in part with you. If you are so inept as to be unable to babysit a child, I will be forced to reconsider your position as both my husband and master. O nie. Hop literalnie dostał tekstem, jak ty się dzieckiem zajmujesz. Tell Banshee she has had her final chance. I have clearly been too Znowu usunęli literę. Too soft on her. It is time she learned to carry herself in a manner befitting my heir. Whatever you say, Morgan, she'd be a lot happier to hear that from you, but I guess that's too much to ask. You don't really love anyone, so there's no chance you'd allow an heir to take over for you. Wow. Iskrzy. Man, I almost feel sorry for Banshee, being adopted by a woman as cold-hearted as you. O cholera. Fragment 8. Zobaczymy, co Eisk ma zamiar zrobić z tym Made in Abyss referencem. Może zacznie się ta fabuła łączyć z teraźniejszością? Byłoby bardzo cool. After the incident at the pit, Mash and Eisk began investigating ruins all around Britain. Their only leads were the stories passed down within the Mirror clan and the murals left by the Rain clan. And so they set out from west to east on a great adventure in search of written records left behind by humans. Between running into moors, getting attacked by anti-Londinium fairies, and fighting the occasional giant monster when Eisk felt like it, things weren't always easy. But when all was said and done, these travelers became lovely memories. Of course, it helped that Mash was always so strong and awesome no matter what. To tak jak mówiłem, że nie mam narratora, co nie? Hey Mash, didn't you call me by some weird name when we first met? No w sumie nadal nie ma narratora, bo to mówi postać, która po prostu się jeszcze nie przedstawiła. Kłamie, przedstawiła się na samym początku. I guess I did. I'm sorry. You looked so much like someone else I know that it just slipped out. Really? There's someone out there who looks just like me? What are they like? I only spent a little time with her, but that was enough for me to know she's a wonderful person. She's brave and kind and dependable, and she spent a lot of time in her workshop making all sorts of clothes. Her name is Habetrot. She's a very happy fairy who wants nothing more than to be a friend to brides everywhere. Whoa, so there's a fairy like that in the future, huh? I guess her name does sound a lot like mine. Maybe it's a fake name, like Ask's. Maybe she's trying to cover up her true name. O, ważny development lorowy. That's enough, Mash. You agreed not to tell us too much about the future, remember? No to porozmawiajmy o teraźniejszości. O co chodzi z tym fake name'em? You're right, I'm sorry. I thought it would make Totoro happy and I didn't stop to think about what I was doing. Gotcha. You can be pretty careless sometimes, huh, Mash? I'm sorry too. Still, I like the idea of being a friend to brides everywhere too. That sounds like a great life to me. Well, they had a lot of conversations like that, so I thought I'd include one for posterity. Anyway, their search through ruins lasted about 5 months. They didn't learn much, but they didn't give up either. They kept doggedly pursuing the threads of Britain's history and eventually arrived at the priestess's prophecy. It was Britain's first prophecy of this destruction. A curse left behind by that first human, the priestess of the enshrined deity. It predicted there would be 4 major wars named after the 4 seasons, but the War of Winter had not yet happened. They never did find out what it meant. Really, all we got from our expedition was a lot of fun memories. And while I know I've already written this down several times, let me remind you once again that this took place in Fey Era 400. Now there were only a few days to go until the coronation at Londinium, which would decide the fate of all of Britain. Zobaczymy Utera? Ja chcę zobaczyć Utera. Pokażcie mi Utera, chuje. And as one of the key figures in that coronation, Ask needed to return to the castle soon. There, the needlework's all done. All I have to do now is make the embroidery motifs. I think I will make a purple rose for Ask and a blue rose for Mash. Let me see. You did a good job. I have no complaints. Jeżeli Uther będzie wyglądać w tej samej stylistyce i będzie przez tego samego ilustratora co Hector, to tym lepiej. You've gone from crybaby to expert. This is why I love handicrafts. Hector. Zawodowy szwacz. although I'm not sure about using embroidery for the brooch. Aisk's going to be a queen, so she should have something that shines. I think a pattern of beads modeled after the word tree should do the trick. Here, give me that. Let me show you how it's done. Whoa, have you always been that good with your hands, Black Knight? You are like some sort of sewing master. Dlaczego to nie jest serwant? Może być bardzo niefortunne, co powiem, ale potrzebujemy jeszcze jeden fragment historii, który dzieje się w Camelocie. Potrzebujemy grywalnego Sir Hectora, potrzebujemy tego Uthera. Kogo tam jeszcze można by dać? Sir Borsa. Wiecie, takie postaci, które rzadziej się pojawiają. I potrzebuję, żeby w evencie Saber Lily powiedziała "Glad you could bake it, Uther". Patrząc na hamburgera oczywiście. O Jezu, jeszcze jakby Uther nosił zwykły taki mundur wojskowy, miał blond włosy zaczesane do tyłu i okulary przeciwsłoneczne. I jego ulubionym hobby byłoby smażenie burgerów. Kurde. Jakby był takim boosterowym supportem. Takim jeszcze fajniejszym niż Merlin. Wiecie, żeby był idealnym supportem pod Saber Alter. On by gotował burgery, Saber Alter by żarła burgery. Gdzieś tam z oddali Kiritsu gudaje okejkę. Totorot's changed so much since you came along, Mash, and it's all thanks to you. We've been together for hundreds of years, but I've never seen this side of her before. I really am a terrible friend. I was so caught in the fighting, I never even noticed that Totorot was going through, and she's always been there for me. Oh no, it was nothing. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, that's all. And the only reason Totorot got interested in making clothes in the first place is the upcoming coronation. She said she wanted to make you a gown so pretty that you'd be the fairest fairy in all of Britain. So I'm sure she would have gone on to become a great tailor, even if I'd never shown up. Aisk? Alright, I think you deserve to know at least a little of how I really feel. I'm no savior, Mash. All I want to do is keep Britain itself alive. I no longer have any interest of saving all its fairies, or to protect humans like you. Brzmi jak Morgan. Huh? What are you saying? You are protecting everyone. I've seen it myself. Here's the thing, Mash. For the last 3,600 years, I've been dispelling the calamities that appear every 100 years, and the great calamities that appear every 1,000. Before, when I said I would let the fairies handle the aftermath and go to sleep in a coffin, well, it wasn't the whole truth. The truth is, every time I saved them from a calamity, the fairies would come after me. I've never known a moment of true peace. The only thing I could ever do was run for my life and hibernate for years at a time. I'm sure that at the least I really did want to build an ideal nation. But not now, not anymore. Every time I decide to work harder and finally get it right next time, I only ever end up having more stones thrown at me. I've been imprisoned, crucified, beheaded, drowned, burned. The only thing they haven't done is poison me. So by now, I've stopped putting my hopes in fairies. My only companions are Totoroth, the Black Knight, and Rainek. I'm not even sure about Uther. Even they only see me as an important tool, nothing more. So I only fight to protect Britain for myself. It's the only place I belong. That's why I'm going to unify the fairies and give humans the right to build a kingdom. That's the Britain I want, the sort of story proper human history would never allow. I've never been Ask the Savior, I'm just Ask the Witch. From Mercury? No, bitch, from Orkney. But surely there must have been at least one good fairy, right? One would believe in you and understand you? Wasn't there ever a single fairy you've genuinely wanted to help? Zabolał ten uśmiech. No, there wasn't. Not a single one. That's why things turned out this way. Mash, you came here from the era of the High Queen. I don't know which faction you belong to in that time. Do drużyny Kostura. I can never know, for if I did, that would change what happens in the future. I've been vacillating for a long time now about whether to kill you or save you. But I don't think it matters now. This is the Fey era, a history entirely of the Tree of Emptiness's making. And as long as that tree exists, anything goes in this Lostbelt. No matter what may be added to this world, it will simply adjust its history to match. Things don't have to make sense in a world with a Tree of Emptiness. The reason Morgan was so cavalier about using the water mirror to send things back in time to the Fey era is her awareness that nothing which changed in the Fey era will affect the start of the era of the High Queen. So you are saying worlds created by Trees of Emptiness can tolerate a fair number of discrepancies without falling apart? That's right, that's why I'm here. The Fey era is the last point in time where things can be so wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. The moment you spoke of the era of the High Queen, I had a flash of insight as to how the future must have played out. She must have used all the magical energy stored inside the Tree of Emptiness to transform this Lostbelt into a singularity. I still won't know why she chose to do that until the time comes, of course. But in the meantime, Mash, I can tell you that you can only exist while the Fey era lasts. In 400 years, at the start of the era of the High Queen, you will disappear, whether you are still alive or dead. No to jest 400 lat. Ludzie tyle nie żyją. Dosłownie. You do understand that, right? Yes, I arrived in Britain in year 2019 of the era of the High Queen. Since I didn't exist in that era before that date, when the Tree of Emptiness dies, I swear, just because Faye Era's history can be changed, that doesn't give her the right to send every problem she can't handle back to the past to let nature disappear it forever. And now she started sending servants as well as calamities? Unbelievable. That's just pathetic, is what it is. So I guess the least I can do is make things right. Ej, to jest trochę problem, w sumie o tym nie pomyślałem, że jeżeli niczego nie zrobimy z aktualnym stanem rzeczy, to jak pójdziemy lać się z Morgan, to ona nas po prostu przeniesie w czasie o te 4000 lat. O 2500 lat. Since I'm mixed up in all of this too, it's my responsibility to send you back to the future you came from. Then again, Oberon pewnie coś wymyśli. Jeżeli ktoś ma moje plecy, to jest to przynajmniej Oberon. Oberon the Based. Are you sure? No, wait, is that even possible? In a way, yes. It should work as long as there aren't any historical inconsistencies leading up to the calamity of Norwich in year 2019 of the era of the High Queen. So, how would you feel about hiding out at the farthest edge of the world, where no one would ever see you? Ja trochę łapię, jak oni mają zamiar przenieść Masz z powrotem do przyszłości. I trochę mnie to bawi. Jeżeli dobrze rozumiem, to Eisk i Masz mają zamiar zahibernować razem w Orkney. Teoretycznie, jeżeli użyją tego samego, czego używa Eisk zawsze do hibernowania, to nie powinien być problem. Lake Region. Albion. 7 szczałków. Który to jest? 18. Czyli 18, 19, 20... No 7 sekcji nam zostało. Równo za tydzień będziemy skończeni z tym i będziemy mieć parę tygodni do Albion Online. Albion Online is a free-to-play MMORPG where you decide what class you are playing as. Co to są za klasy? Archer, Avenger i... Co? Jaki Archer? Assassin. Czyli strzelam, że po prostu jakiś Nightcall nas jebnie. No nie dorwały reklamy? Człowieku, ja literalnie nie używam adblocka. If you only knew how bad things really are. Multik na Percivala. Nie. Jeżeli dobrze mi się wydaje, Percival też wróci w najbliższym czasie. I Percival będzie chyba na GSSR-ce, na którą mam zamiar rolować na Anniversary. Co ja polajkowałem? Co to jest? No to przegląd memuchów. Była ta linijka na początku fabuły, gdzie tam w pewnym momencie Protak mówi "And that's the gist of the world's history up until 2017". Więc literalnie puścił jej History of the World kind of. Co ja tu jeszcze mam? Co to jest? O, Artoria jest cool i w ogóle, ale pamiętajcie... A nie, to jeszcze nie to. Jeszcze nie to. To jest to, że pamiętajcie, she's British. No, tyle przeciągania. Zanim nam wyłączyli prąd, jest dobrze, więc można się pożegnać. Widzimy się jutro. Będziemy robić, nie mam pojęcia co. Idziemy do Szkocji. Zeżrą nas tam myszki. Chyba jeszcze nie mam prawa dopisać sobie kolejnego W tam na dół ekranu, więc jeszcze go nie będzie. No, z Bogiem. Zrobimy postać, polewelujemy jakieś któreś tam drzewek umiejętności, pójdziemy na arenę PvP, stracimy wszystko i jebniemy to w pizdu i nie wrócimy nigdy.